Hello, in this video we will discuss about the tetanus. The tetanus is the infection and causes the disease due to the infection of the bacteria called the Clostridium tetani. So this is also known as a lockjaw because a lockjaw. And the rod-shaped bacteria is known as the Clostridium tetani is the 2.5 micrometer long, become enlarged and drumstick type when forming the spores. And the gram positive bacteria, it is known as the anaerobic bacillus, because anaerobic means lack of oxygen promote the growth. So the lack of oxygen promote the growth. So here is the structure which that is the different stage during the development of this bacteria A to C, and C form a spore that is the resistant spores and contain cortex outer layer. Outer layer is the coat, and inner is the cortex, and innermost is the core. So anyhow, this is the soil containing bacteria. This soil containing spores will invaginate due to the injury, the barefooted person injury here. So this is the soil contains spores and entry of the spore due to the injury of the feet. And the person when will not care himself. So in this way the transmission of this bacteria can be possible due to the contamination. So the transmission of this bacteria person to person also transmit, while the wound site from contamination soil contains spores transmit and germination in the presence of lack of oxygen. So we should keep the ventilation in our wound site for decreasing of the germination possibility. So here is the injury side, which that is the passage of time. The injury will not cure and injury will not recover, and in this way the wound will become maintain due to the some complication, for example diabetes mellitus too. And there is a lot of things which that will maintain the wound and not recover, not heal. And in this way the clostridium spores which that will be invaginate also, and this is the epidermis, and after this is the reside the spores into the wound site. An anaerobic environment in wound and dormant spores. The next step is the germination will be occur. How is the germination will process? In the absence of the oxygen, the bacterial spore will be work, and the cycle will continuously to produce more spore and a rod-shaped body, and this terminus spores and rod-shaped body again which contain drumstick style. And in this way, again the spores will form and the cycle will continue. On the other hand, the next second is the after the passage of time, that 2 days or 3 days, even 1 2 week, which that will bacteria will germinate more, and the growth of the bacteria will increase, even when we will maintain the contamination, not wash and not cure our wound site. So after this, the spore enter more, and it will grow more, and in this way, the tetanospores this will lead to produce the tetanospasmic toxin. This tetanospasmic toxin will enter into the blood circulatory system also, and the bacterial spore is also enter into the blood circulatory system. But mostly you can understand the tetanospasmic chemicals, the tetanospasmic toxin will be enter first, and in this way the entry of the tetanospasmic toxin will target to the nervous system, the central nervous system in the spinal cord, and more it will inhibit the inhibitory neuron for the inhibition of the muscle contraction and refining of the muscle movement. So remember, and in this way here is the tetanospasmin will be entered, and also the invasion of spores and bacteria also. It will target to the nervous system, the brain as well as the spinal cord. Spinal cord contain excitatory neuron excited for excitation and inhibitory neuron for inhibition of the muscle contraction or relaxation when we will want. So this inhibitory and excitatory neuron which that is come from the brain, and after the come from the brain it will integrate with the spinal cord where the reflex arc will occur. So let's begin to understand. Here is the it's contain interneuron, motor neuron, sensory neuron, the spinal cord, afferent and efferent neuron, and target of toxin to the interneuron, but inhibitory also, but mm, inhibitory. So yes, inhibitory neuron. So here is a cross section of the brain which that is showing the cerebrum and the gray matter outside, while in the case of spinal cord the inside the gray matter will be occur. White matter is inside in the brain while the outside in spinal cord in case of spinal cord. So here is the stimulus. For example, the desire to move, pain to withdraw, injury to care. These all things will lead to muscle movement. So how it's possible? Let's begin to understand. First of all, we should need to understand the sensory neuron. This sensory neuron which that will involve, but we are understanding the motor neuron only because this is the normal process we will discuss first. This is the spinal cord which that cross section contain gray matter and white matter. So on the other hand, in this case, the dorsal root of ganglion and ventral root of ganglion, which that is the part of somatic nervous system, the peripheral nervous system, not the central nervous system, but this is peripheral nervous system, while the spinal cord and the brain is the central nervous system. So this is the sensory input from hand will be moved from the dorsal root of ganglion, and in this way here is the stimulus which that is target to the brain from thalamus to the spinal cord, and in this way the second order neuron to third order neuron which that is the motor neuron contain myelinated sheath Schwann cell, and this Schwann cell increase the excitation and the action potential more rapidly. And in this way, here is the neuromuscular junction will occur. When the exocytosis of the neurotransmitter will bind with the receptor, the acetylcholine receptor, via a neuromuscular junction for depolarization to contract, act in a myosin sarcomere. So in this way, here is the neuromuscular junction. So this is the disulfide bond containing tetanospasmin, which that will be in fact via a entry from the motor neuron to target the inhibitory neuron. So it will move from here to the spinal cord side. So after the spinal cord side, it will move here, and this will interfere with the inhibitory and excitatory neuron, and our own will not involve for the contraction and relaxation. Also, our autonomic nervous system will be affected by this due to the rhythmical excitation of the heart will be damaged. So here you can see the motor neuron and inhibitor neuron which that it will be affect. Anyhow, here you can see and understand as well. So in this way, the let's begin to understand how it works the inhibitory and excitatory neuron with the motor neuron. So here is I am drawing the inhibitor neuron and excitatory neuron, which that is a part of the spinal cord which come from the brain. And in this way, here you can see this is the inhibitor neuron and excitatory neuron. Inhibitory neuron will inhibit the continuous muscle movement, while the excitatory neuron which that stimulate the excitation of the muscle, excitation of the contraction of muscle. So here is the toxin, the tetanospasmin will enter in the endocytosis will be occur, and in this way the vesicle formation. This vesicle is known as the endosome, like bind with the endosome, and the proton will enter will lead to decrease the pH and increase the acidity. Will cleave the break the disulfide bond and toxin cleave to form a cleaved to form a vesicle associated membrane protein. This vesicle associated membrane protein will form, and the vesicle associated membrane protein, a vesicle associated membrane protein formation. And in this way, here is the toxin cleaved and to form a vesicle associated membrane protein, and the plasma protein are present in the cell membrane, and it will inhibit the binding with the neurotransmitter via a plasma membrane protein, because the cleave of the uh, uh, cleave of the so the here you can see the disulfide bond will be broke, and this form a vesicle-like structure which that will inhibit the neurotransmitter containing a vesicle associated membrane protein, and in this way the toxin will infect by this mechanism, and the plasma membrane protein which that will be not bind with the neurotransmitter to exocytosis. So this is the motor neuron will continuously through excited neuron, which that is continually movement to action potential more and more will lead to vibratory structure of the movement of muscle. So in this way, here is the vaccination is basically is the can be provided via a pregnant mother. Due to the pregnancy, the baby chances of the fetus will be more for the tetanus. So the first pregnancy and the second month after first dose, 6 month and the 1 year and 5 year after 1 year, which that is the fifth dose after 1 year to 1 year. And this is a newborn tetanus infection can be possible and worldwide since the 1960s. To prevent the neonatal tetanus, it vaccines that administered during the pregnancy have not been shown to harm either the mother or baby or fetus. And umbilical cord the cutting to contamination cause tetanus. So thanks for watching. Please make sure to subscribe, like and share this video, and just remember that just keep watching another video for understanding more tutorial. And on the other hand, there is a lot of videos about the physiology and biochemistry.